Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a guest. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, thank you. If you're coming from my guest channel, you are welcome. Guys, I have Melissa here. As you can tell from the title, she lives in the UK and I live in Canada. And we're just doing a comparison, new immigrants idea, new
Yeah,
immigrants experience. She has been in the
yeah.
UK for 4 years and I've lived in Canada for about a year and a half. So we're talking about the opportunities, the diversity. I'm sure you've seen all of that. So we are here
Mm,
for second part. So stay
yeah.
tuned. Subscribe to my channel and subscribe to our channel. Please, we beg you. So Melissa, introduce yourself.
So hey guys, my name is Melissa. Let's see, and I create content on YouTube. Please, guys, make sure to subscribe to my channel, okay? And click that bell so that whenever I post, you will just get notified like straight away. So today we're going to be continue comparison, which we already started on my channel, UK versus Canada, just to enlighten people that they're just like confused on which to go to. Our first point to be job opportunity, like how easy is it to get a job in UK and Canada? So I'm only talking about UK. So in the UK, I won't say it's so easy, especially when it comes to like the professional jobs. But in the UK, you can't just be stranded. Like if you come in, there's something for you to do to just keep going while you get your certifications and stuff. And also, I would say the UK, they accept experience from abroad. Like let's say you've worked as a doctor, for instance, or as a nurse in Nigeria, and you've passed all your exam, your PLAB and CBT and everything, your IELTS you've passed, and you come here, you can just start working. Like maybe they might just train you for like few weeks, maybe like a week or so, and then you can just start working from your knowledge from Nigeria. I don't think it is so in Canada. Most of the time, that's why I hear that doctors come to Canada and they start driving taxis. So it's quite easy in that aspect, as long as you passed your exams, your board exams, that is it for you. And then let's say when it comes to other jobs, like professional jobs like HR, admin, in fact, customer service in the UK, you don't even need to have UK experience to get into customer service or admin. Once that your Nigeria experience, that's your Africa experience, that's your certification, like your qualification, your BSc, they recognize it here, but I don't know if it is same for Canada. So I would say basically, if you come, one thing is sure you will not be stranded. There are care jobs, there are retail jobs, so many. All these we call it minimum wage jobs. Literally, there's definitely something for you to do to get by whilst you work your way to the path that you really want to go into. So I would say when it comes to that, UK is quite flexible and they accept abroad qualifications. So what is it like in Canada?
Oh, Canada.
Our
so
sweet Canada.
I will say that for professional degrees like law and medical professions and all that, those ones don't they're not easy to come by, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of let's say careers or paths are regulated, right? So for as much as you want to become, okay, of course accountants are also regulated. So I would say that unlike in the UK where you just need to write for a medical doctor, you just need to write PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 and your
Lab
IELTS
two.
and you're good
Mm.
to go. Nah, it
Mm.
doesn't come easy. You're not good to go in Canada. Nah, nah.
So how you don't they don't write exams? How
They
does
do
your
write exams, but like
mm.
the exams are like a stretch.
Wow. Like
Yes,
how
I
many
don't know
years?
for sure the number of exams that it
Mm.
is, but I know that people take years to qualify to become a
Wow.
doctor if you're coming from third world countries, unlike
So what would they be doing?
so you'll be doing other jobs, right? Yeah, like you said, there are other jobs that will keep you going till you achieve that goal that you're looking
So
at,
what
right?
are they in Canada?
Oh, so there's also care job, but we call it PSW, like personal support workers. Is also care.
Okay.
There is, of course, customer service. There's the retail. There are customer service like in different stages. Like there's customer
Mm.
service that you be at home. There's customer service that you have to be in the office. There's customer service that is like office, proper office job. There's
Mm.
customer service that is maybe like you work in like in a retail store. So
Mm.
there are all jobs that can keep you going. It just depends on what you want. In
Yeah.
everything, it depends on how diligent you are to look for that thing that you're looking for, and it's how
Mm.
interested you are to do those small things till you achieve that big thing, right? But I would say that in comparison to transitioning, I think like from what me and you and everybody has heard, it's easier to get into the tech roles because they have a lot of jobs, a lot of jobs. So people are flowing into that aspect more, but there are still the professional ones, right? There's still those like me. I'm a trained lawyer from Nigeria. I haven't started my process yet, but I'm definitely going to. I've not started it and I'm already a year plus, right? So by the time I'm qualified in another maybe 2 years, but if you hear somebody, if I hear me talking about you, you think I started from the beginning and I'll say maybe like 3 years. Do you get? It just depends on your goal. It depends on what you want and how you want to achieve it fast. They accept experience from Nigeria. They accept any form of experience, right?
Do they?
It just depends on how you can package yourself. Although you hear some organizations tell you that, oh, you don't have the Canadian experience. They take their Canadian experience very personal. Or you cannot get that job if you don't have Canadian experience. Like I said, you just need to find a way to package yourself. I mean, there are people that have come in directly and their first job is like a 6-figure job. And there are some people that will come in and they're starting with the minimum wage, right? So it just really depends on how you go for what you want. So I would say the jobs are there. You just need to know how to package yourself for it.
That's good. So let's talk about healthcare. So in the UK, we have like NHS, which I would say it's free to an extent. People argue that it is not free because if you're working, they normally take out something from your salary called national insurance monthly. That's not taxed just because of your access to healthcare and stuff. But for me, I consider NHS free because if you calculate that national insurance that they take, to me, is nothing compared to the healthcare that you receive. Even though that I can say that most Africans, we don't really use the healthcare system the way the British folks do, because coming from Nigeria or from Africa, we're not really used to hospital setting. I can be poorly now and I will just take paracetamol and sleep, and the next minute I'm all right. But the British folks, when they are sick, no, they don't believe in not taking paracetamol. They want you to tell them to take that paracetamol. So I would say they use it actually more than we do. So some people argue that it's not free, but I would say it's free because I've had the opportunity to give birth twice and I didn't pay for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
You can do what is really
medications
free.
free. But we pay for dental care. In order for you to visit your dentist, you definitely have to pay for that. But I don't know if it excludes children. I'm not quite sure. My children have never have to use the dental care services. Also, we pay something called prescription charge in England. I don't know about. I know Scotland don't pay. I'm not sure if Northern Ireland pay, but in England you have to pay prescription charge. That means if you go to your GP and they give you your prescription, when you go to the pharmacy, you have to pay for the prescription. They say you're not paying for the medication, but to me, you're paying for the medication. But yeah, you pay for prescription charge, which is like, I think about £9 something. I don't know if it has changed, but last time I checked, so like £9 something.
Any drug?
So from
any medication?
Yeah, except OTC, like over the counter. If it's over the counter that does not need prescription, like paracetamol, Panadol, this small cough syrup, no, you just go and buy. But the intense medication like antibiotics, any medication that is not over the counter that requires prescription from your GP, in England, you have to pay your prescription charge. So some people just argue that I'm paying prescription charge, I'm paying for national insurance, and you're saying NHS is free. Where is it free? If it's free, then I'm not supposed to pay for anything at all. But to me, I think it is because if you come to the UK as a visitor and have access to these services, that's when you understand that it's free, because it is very expensive. And of course, giving birth in the UK, they don't issue citizenship by birth. No, actually, if you and your husband, you guys are not British, no, except if one person is British, then definitely your child will become a citizen. Like my kids, they're not British citizens because we are just 4 years in, so we don't have our ILR yet, or we are not citizens of UK, so definitely our kids are not. But if I had given birth in Canada or US, my kids would have been citizens of Canada and US, right? So what is the healthcare like in Canada?
Healthcare, our almighty healthcare in Canada. So healthcare in Canada is free, absolutely free. Everything, anything you do in the space of the hospital, like you go to the hospital today, they do surgery, they give you medication in the hospital, everything is totally free. You're not paying for anything. But when
Yeah.
it comes to prescription, like maybe you're not feeling fine, the doctor now prescribes something for you to go and buy. My dear, you're gonna pay that money.
For the medication, wow.
You're gonna pay that medication. But now the good thing with that is a lot of organizations have health benefits and they have drug.
Oh,
So for
okay.
instance, if your doctor gives you a medication that is like $70 and you have health
Mm,
benefit for it, your health benefit will pay like maybe $60 out of it and you pay the remaining $10. So there's
mm,
usually a small charge that comes to you, and then your health insurance from your employer
mm,
will cover the rest. And we only have general. The only medical that is free is the general health care. When it comes
mm.
to dental or optometrics like
Ophthalmology
eyes,
and all that. I.
mouth, teeth, throat, ENT,
Mm,
you're going to pay for it. But like I said, if you are
insurance.
working with an employer that has given you health benefits, that's then going to
Then.
cover. But most of the time, not all organizations give 100% coverage. So, for instance, if you go to
Mm.
the dentist and your bill is like $1,000, your
Mm.
health benefit might pay maybe 900 or
Oh, which is
800,
good.
or it
Mm-hmm.
just depends on the kind of coverage the organization has given to you.
Mm.
And even that organization benefits, it really just depends on the kind of organization you work with. Some
Yeah.
organization will give you 100% and you don't have to pay any difference out of your monthly
Mm.
income. Some organizations will take something maybe like $20 monthly to cover up, to add to what they are giving. So let's say
Mm.
your monthly, and you and your family, maybe your premium for the month is like maybe $100. Your organization will pay $80 and then you pay $20, right? So that's
Mm.
how it works here. The medications are not free, 100% free. It just depends on the kind of coverage you have. And then Canada has birth tourism. That's if you come into Canada, no matter the status you are coming with, no matter who you are, once you give birth, your child is automatically a citizen. Even if it's asylum,
Okay.
once you come
Yeah.
into Canada, you are giving birth and you're giving birth, your child become
Hmm.
automatically a citizen, right? So
Hmm. Great.
Canada healthcare is free, very free, right? They don't take anything from our monthly
Okay.
to
National
cover up
insurance.
for it. No, they don't cover. They don't.
Okay.
Apart from what your employer takes for your insurance, the government doesn't
Mm.
take anything to cover up for it. Although the
Mm.
government takes what they call federal tax and there's also provincial tax.
Mm.
So it's out of that money they'll use to develop
Yeah.
the country, right? But they don't take
Yeah.
specifically for healthcare. So you would hear
Mm.
Canadians say healthcare is free. It's like absolutely free. Once you're in that
Mm.
hospital, you're not paying anything. Even if your doctor refers you to go and do a test, blood test,
Mm.
X-ray, you're not paying anything. You're just
Mm.
walking in. The government sorts all of that out.
Yeah.
Although, as free as it is, it can be frustrating. It's frustrating in terms of
Waiting
the wait
times.
time.
Yeah.
And that is a major problem in Canada because the number of immigrants coming in is not
Mm.
proportional to the number of healthcare providers that they
Health
have,
healthcare providers.
right?
Yeah.
And you know the way people are coming into Canada monthly, daily, and all that. There are about 43 million people in Canada, and I'm sure that the healthcare workers are not even up to a million because
Yeah.
the process to get qualified is a long one, right? So before all the
Mm.
doctors that come, before they become doctors, maybe another 5 years. So it takes time. So we have a
Mm.
very crazy wait period. It can be very frustrating. Emergency
Oh.
room is not the real emergency room in this place.
No, same here. Same here. Same here
No,
in
but
the
the good
UK.
thing, no, but the good thing in the UK is you guys now have private practice, right?
We have GP, yeah.
You
Okay,
have
private
private,
hospitals, yeah, of course, we
you
have
have
private.
private hospitals that if you can pay for
If
it,
you
you
have
go.
the money, go
We don't
there.
have that here.
Are you
Every
serious?
form of medical that is general medical, apart
Government
from dental,
funded.
is covered by the government, right? So you have to
Wow.
wait. So that's why
Wow.
the
You
wait
don't
is
have a
crazy.
choice.
You don't have a choice. If they rush you to the emergency room, they're only going to attend to you and give you medication that would subside your pain for that
Oh my
moment.
days.
You have to wait another like maybe 5, 6 hours to see a doctor. So it's
Wow.
crazy.
But if it's, I'm sure they prioritize in
Oh yes,
emergency
of course, they
departments. Yeah.
prioritize children, adults, and
I
the
know. I
kind of
mean the degree of, yeah, the
oh
degree
yes,
of
and the
your
kind of thing that brought
illness,
you in. Yes.
because you cannot like be dying, and they'll tell
No,
you
you
to
can't
wait
be
for six
dying,
hours.
dying, dying. No, no, no.
Yeah.
They are
No,
they
it's
definitely
same here.
prioritize.
If you go to we call it emergency departments. If you go there, you still have, you will wait. That's why I always tell people, if you want to go to emergency departments, use ambulance. Don't use your two leg and walk in there. Okay,
You
you
know the flip
will wait.
side. My friend told me when she came into Canada, she's been like 8 years here now. When she came, that's what they used to do. That time, ambulance was $45, right?
You guys
So
pay for
people,
ambulance?
yes, we pay for
Oh, we
ambulance.
don't pay for ambulance.
So, but so that's another thing. We pay for ambulance, but is your insurance, your employer's insurance, I'll pay for it.
Oh, okay. What about students? Even if you're working like minimum wage jobs.
I don't know about students, but a lot of it depends on the kind of minimum wage jobs is. A lot of minimum wage jobs still have coverage. It just depends on the kind of uh, company you're working with. Most of
Okay.
all these jobs still have coverage. So they used to use that, but I think they figured out that a lot of people just used to use ambulance to get in. So number one, they increase the money of ambulance. Number two, if you come with ambulance and maybe you cut your finger, you're gonna wait.
You're gonna wait. Oh my god, like they figured it out.
They
I don't
figured
think
it
they
out.
figured it out here already.
So
I don't know if
ambulance
they
is
have
like
here because I don't really
$40
use
now.
ambulance services.
Okay.
Okay, so when it comes to benefits, I'm not like the most knowledgeable person because I am on tier two, like tier two dependent spouse visa. My husband came here with the work visa, so we don't really have access to like so many government funded. In fact, we don't have access to public funds, as a matter of fact, except you're British or you're European, or I don't know, but my status, we don't have access. So my kids now, they don't get children benefits or nothing really. The only thing benefits we kind of enjoy a bit is, I think, my first son, who is 3 years old, is able to go to school for 15 hours in a week. That's really, as if he was British, he would have been going to school for 30 hours a week. So that's it. Even though I know they've repackaged it, which I don't really have so much knowledge on it, because no, I don't really have so much knowledge on benefits. And myself, the only benefit I would say I've even enjoyed in this country is maternity leave. Like when I went to maternity leave for 1 year, I was paid, but not like my full salary. Like I would say for the first month, they paid me like 90% of my salary, and then continuously just dropped to, I would say 30% or 40% of my salary. So, which I think I considered it okay, because I mean, I was at home looking after my children and I was just managing the money. So, when it comes to benefit, I would say the UK is not really so robust when it comes to immigrants. No, it's not. So, if you're coming to the UK and you know that you have mind somewhere to assess their benefit, just forget about it, because it's mainly for their home people. So what is it like in Canada?
Like I said, Canada is a country for people.
For the people, by
Once
the
you
people, and
for the people,
okay.
once you get into the country as a permanent resident, you are eligible
Mhm.
for anything and everything. And Canada has a lot of benefit, like very interesting
Sorry
benefits.
to cut you short. What if you come via student route and work route?
So that I know, for students, you start, I think they backdate your benefits once you are done with school. I'm not sure. I'm
Mm.
not clear on that. But I know that there's something that they give them tax rebates when you are done with school. But I don't know for sure, or
Mm.
for that detail. I'm not sure of it. PR now that I came into.
Mm.
Once you come in, your children are immediately eligible for the monthly child benefit.
What's it like a month? About how much? Do you have an idea?
So so it really just depends on your income. So they calculate that based on family income.
Oh, they
Yes,
do.
but you
Okay.
know that there are some people that their current status of earnings do not qualify them for monthly income, right?
They just try
Eh,
to balance it up
yes,
for
it's a
everybody.
balance system. So the more you earn, the more
The
tax they will
lesser
take from you and then give to the people that earn
that
little,
ends,
right?
yeah, same as the UK, yeah.
Yeah, so we have something called the weather benefit. So there are three weather seasons, or there are 3 seasons that they qualify. So every 4 months, the government will give you money for change of weather. So when we got into summer, they gave everybody money. When we go into winter,
Canada,
they
show the
give all of
money.
us
Hey,
money.
wahala.
Depending on how much you make per family, they'll also give you, I think that one is 4 times a year. So GST, they will also share money 4 times a year.
People are
We are
flexing
chilling,
government money.
no.
You
We are
see
chilling.
wahala. So somebody can decide that, okay, I don't want to work. I want to live off government.
Oh, there are people that do that. So another thing is that have like multiple children. Maybe let's say someone that has 5 children. The husband will be working, the wife will not work. So the money that they will give those 5 children
will be higher.
Will be very interesting.
It will balance up the woman's going out to work.
Exactly.
Wow.
So a lot of people will just. Some people do it. I think it's more of an African thing, right? They'll say they're staying at home to take care of their children, and the government is paying, right? So depends on the province you are. Last year, for like about a year, 10 months, Alberta gave us electricity rebate, so we're not paying much for electricity bill because the government was paying part of it.
Yeah, we experienced that here in the UK.
Like some months ago, they came and said they want to give grocery money to everybody. They'll give $500 per family. Depends on how much the family income is, right? So there's all those one-off money that they share, right? So everybody's actually very.
So that everybody go there all right.
Everybody go there all right. People are okay with it.
So it's just people with PRO and Canadians that are qualified, right?
I know that work permit and students have some sort of benefit too, but I don't know the full detail.
So the best way to come to Canada is PRO, so that you can be enjoying everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, lastly, education. So in the UK, literally from 5 years is free. Education is free for children, but you have to pay for like uniform and the stationery and all those small things. But it's actually free up until I'm not sure of college, if college is free, but of course university, they do this government funded thing where when you start working you start paying back. So I won't say university is totally free, right? Because you still have to pay back. And while studying, they can still be giving like incentives, bursary, especially if you're studying courses that are really in high demand, like nursing, medicine and stuff like that. They give bursary. Even if you're studying other courses, they still give bursary fees and stuff, but that's for home students. So if you're planning on coming from Nigeria, and are you gonna give them? They don't send your
serious?
If there's no bursary for you if you're coming from abroad to come and study here.
But what about incentives? What they call those money?
No more. You don't have access to public funds.
Oh, interesting. They do, yeah. Like I have a friend that is a student, and she collected money for something. I can't remember what exactly it is. She's done with school now, but when she was in school, she collected like money about maybe like 3 times, like maybe 2K, 1.5, 3K.
That's cool now.
They share they share money. It just so that money that they share now depends on the qualification they've given. They can say that if you are a science student, you are qualified for 1,500. Submit an application to explain why you're qualified. Of course, it's not. If 5,000 people should apply, it's not all the 5,000 they will give, right? But at least that kind of money is available for people that can tap into it, right?
Oh,
yeah, that kind of money. I mean, I have a friend that's currently doing SW, that's like that care, but she went to school for it, and the government paid her 2.5 out of her school fees, gave her back her 2.5 out
because of the nature of the course.
Yes, because of the nature of the course. Do you get? So there are other ones like that too. They can say if you are in those engineering, architecture, medical, what do they call them? There's one term that they call it STEM. Yes. So if you're a STEM student, there's some sort of money available for you, right?
International students.
Sorry?
International students.
Oh yes, international students. Wow. If you are in the LGBT community, there's some sort of money available for you, right? So there is money available, just the way you
Yeah.
can tap into it. And if your ears are
Mm.
down to hear information.
Yes, information.
Yeah.
Information is key. So cost of living in UK and Canada, I would say it's relative, guys. So I don't even think you should rely on whatever we say about cost of living because I'm in the UK. I earn in pounds, I spend in pounds. She's in Canada, she earns in Canadian dollar and she spends in Canadian dollar. So I can't come and start saying 3 bedroom house in the UK is £700 a month, and then she will say, "Oh, it's £3,000 a month," and you guys will assume that, "Oh my gosh, that means life is so expensive in Canada." Because we also need to talk about the income too, minimum wage. So minimum wage in Canada might even be higher than that than in the UK. Like an average doctor might earn, definitely an average doctor earns way, way, way more in Canada than the UK. So it's not so balanced, right? So but I would say that when it comes to like salary and earning, I think you Canadians should earn more based on what you guys spend. I think there's the money flows more in Canada because in the UK it's so tight. We pay you guys pay bills clearly. We pay lots of bills, but the money doesn't really flow like that. See the way she was just explaining, we get this money, they give us that money. UK, oh yeah, is your case. Oh yeah, is actually if you're
Yeah,
not
don't have
British.
residency. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not British for it. You're not British. Nothing for you, literally. It states it's even stated on your residence permit, no access to public fund. Like me, I'm not British, and it's stated on my residence permit, no access to public fund. So if I access any public fund, I'm definitely breaking the rule, and they'll be waiting for me when I want to get my pali, my which is even like the main goal. Because what are we doing here if we don't want that, if we don't want the papers and stuff? So I would say it's relative. And also, when it comes to the UK, it depends on where you live. If you decide to live in London areas, Birmingham, be sure that you're going to be spending a whole lot of money. But if you live in down south or down north, like I live in north, I won't say it's cheap, but I would say it's reasonably affordable compared to living in London areas. So you should just check really where you want to live because at the end of the day, the salary difference is not so much. So you can be living in London and probably be earning like 70K, but in down north it might be like 64, 65. So after all your expenses, you see like it's so insignificant basically. So I won't say it's ideal to compare cost of living when it comes to UK and Canada, but this is what it's like in the UK. And if you want to a full breakdown of what it's like, I've done series of content on cost of living in the UK. I've interviewed people asking them how they survive on UK cost of living. So you might want to check that out so you can get like a robust knowledge on that. So what's like cost of living like in Canada, basically? You will like, no, we can't compare. That's just the truth. But what is it like?
Yeah. The cost of living in Canada, you would hear it. I'm sure you've been hearing it. The
Because it's
inflation,
money you are receiving.
the inflation rate in Canada is, I know it's all around the world, but I don't know. I think specifically in Canada, it's very high. Inflation rate has gone up. So I can categorically tell you that cost of living in Canada is high. It is high. Although it now also depends on where you live, but generally speaking, it's a lot. It's a
So do
lot
you
compared to the
get
income coming in
something?
at the moment.
You
Sorry?
have Do you have something to save up? Not you. I mean, most people.
Generally.
There really
So
something to save
this
up after everything.
that question you're asking
Mm.
is a is an African thing, right? All these pay bills and still have something to save up on. We are the ones hustling that hustle. You see all these whites and all that.
Okay.
They are comfortable with whatever is left with them. We are the ones trying to build wealth and all of
Well,
that.
for our
So
great grandchildren.
yes, so it really just depends on what you earn and where you live.
Mm,
This question, there is no guarantee, but I will
mm,
tell you that in Canada, if you earn minimum wage and you live according to minimum wage standard, you'll
mm.
be okay, right?
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
get the
love that
basic.
that word.
Yes, it's not that you
Affordable.
earn minimum wage and want to
You
live the
want
rich
want to
man
write
life, but
dance.
it's not that side. If you live according to your income, you'll be all right. But generally, cost of living is high. No, is high. Ontario is even out of Ontario, Vancouver, I'm sorry, Ontario, British Columbia, they are out of the roof. But generally, cost of living is high. And I'll say that I meant something about education in Canada. Kids, depends on the province, you start school between 4 and 5, and it's free till you get to higher institution. So you pay for college or university, whichever one you want to go to. And they also have access to funding. So, and from what I know right now, there is no interest rate on that student loan that you take. You just pay that money as you go according to how you want to pay for it, right? So I would say the country is a good place to be if you want to go. We have given you several comparisons. So sit down, do your research. Just also remember the exchange rate 1-2 to 700.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's a thing if you're coming from Nigeria. You have to be behind your mind that
That's right.
Which one?
Very
So
important. Yeah.
I'm sure that we've been able to provide you guys with adequate information. We've been able to provide you with something you can hold on to, a direction to do a better research, to make a good informed decision for yourself and your family. But whatever the case is, if you want to come abroad, come abroad. It is not a big deal. It is not over the roof. It's not undoable. It is doable. We have been living here and we are thriving by the grace of God. You can also do the same thing. So we welcome you. If you are coming to Canada, holla at me. If you are going to the UK, holla at Melissa. We are available for your questions.
Sure. So, so thank you guys. I'll see you guys on my channel because I know you guys watch to my channel and subscribe. Okay.
Go back to our channel. Melissa Otis. Go back there. And while you're here, stay here and subscribe. Thank you very much.
Guys.
We appreciate you. Bye.